Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and today I'm gonna be doing another one of my show breakdowns. Yeah, I wasn't lying the last time I did one of these when I said I have a lot of shows to catch up on. I really wasn't. I'm really gonna try to pump these out as much as possible because like I'm behind apparently on a lot. The show I'm going to be talking about in today's video, as you can see by the title, is Invincible. Now, if you have not seen my show breakdowns, I'll leave a playlist or something. I usually just break down the characters, talk about things I liked and disliked in the show, talk about what the show is about, all this stuff. And it's usually a fun time, so yeah. When it comes to Invincible, I had no idea what it was. I heard little to nothing about it until literally one day it was just on my timeline. I couldn't escape it. Everyone was talking about it. Then everyone was like, you need to watch it. And then I was like, okay. So then I watched it because, you know, peer pressure works, especially on Twitter. I had to watch it, okay? I don't like feeling not in the know, you know? So I watched it and wow. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. So before I get into it, let me just start off by saying I have not read the comics that go with it. Didn't even know it was a comic before going in. I literally just walked into this blindly. I I only watched it because Twitter told me to. And now I feel like I'm emotionally scarred. I wasn't prepared for what I walked into. I feel like I should have read the comics, but also I didn't know it was based off of a comic. So I guess I'll probably save that for like later when I have time to go through the comics, depending on how many comics there are. I don't know. But the show is what we're talking about today. So if you don't know what Invincible is about, it's about Mark. Mark is a teenage superhero with, you know, a superhero dad, and you know, he lives in a society where superheroes are like normalized, and they sometimes fight in teams, they sometimes don't, but they're basically looked up upon society to like be the good in the world and just do great things. And so he wants to strive to be like his father, who is the greatest superhero basically of all time, and like he has to live up to those standards throughout the whole entire show. And if you have not watched the show, that's a good summary, good enough for you to go watch it and click off of this video because I'm about to get into it. I'm about to get into it because I have a lot to say about Mark, about his father, about all of these characters. So let's just get into it, shall we? Yeah, let's start with Mark, Mr. Invincible himself. Yeah, I have no problem with Mark. I just think he's not that smart. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. He's still learning. He literally just got his powers like a few months ago. I'm gonna let him live for now. But the way he was handling most things, I mean, I don't blame him because like he's a teenager, he's a kid. I don't blame him for, you know, the way things were handled, but I still feel like in some way he could have handled a lot of things better than he did. Let's start off with his relationship with Amber because yeah, a lot to unpack there. By the way, for those of you that don't like Amber, don't watch this video. For those of you that are anti-Amber, because I saw a lot of them on Twitter, which is also why I watched this show, because I saw a lot about Amber and I watched it. So after watching it, my thoughts on Amber are, if you hate her, click off this video. This is not for you. Mark leading Amber on for 5 months, knowing that he had no time for a relationship, barely had time for school, barely had time for literally anything other than his superhero duties. Yeah, I didn't like that. You see, I didn't like that. I feel like he could have easily just ended it, and he didn't. And whenever Amber ended it, he wanted her back, and she took him back because like a sweetheart, she gave him another chance after chance after chance, and then he kept on screwing her over and over and over again. So that's when I was like, okay, Mark, you're kind of on my hit list because yeah, I guess you can already tell I love Amber. So when he kept on doing that throughout 8 episodes, they're like 50-minute episodes, 8 episodes, 50 minutes straight, just straight up leading her on, disrespecting, and just doing a lot of stuff that didn't need to be done if he just like reflected on what he had time for. I don't know, got some type of planner. He's not that smart, but he's new to this, so I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he will get better at balancing out things in his life. But as of right now, a relationship is a no-no with Mark. He does not need one. He does not need one. I want him to get, like, space out, like, go far away from Amber for the time being, because they do not need each other. Not right now. She was good without him. He was fine without her. They separate ways. Please, I'm begging. Mark, please leave her alone. After everything that happened with his dad, I'm gonna get to his dad in a second. After everything that happened with his dad, I am kindly asking him to go to a counseling session, a therapy session of some sort. Because after his dad literally tried to kill him, I would assume that he needs to be sat down and talked with. Like, someone needs to counsel him or something, because obviously his mom isn't in the right mind space to do it, because her husband literally just tried to kill her son, talk bad about her. I'm gonna get to the dad in a second. I'm gonna get to Omni-Man Nolan in a second, okay? He's on my hit list too. But I want to make sure Mark is okay. So I'm really just hoping that he talks to someone. By someone, I mean a professional of some sort. I need to sit down, maybe some family counseling. I don't know. He just went through a lot, and I'm kind of worried for him. But yeah, that's Mark. Super sweet. I'm rooting for him. I just want him to do better next season. I want him to try to figure out himself and what he's capable of, because obviously when it comes to his powers, he doesn't really know much. He doesn't really know how to do what he can with his powers. He knows that he has super strength. He knows he can fly. He just doesn't know how to do it well. As you could see by how many times he got his ass kicked, how many times he almost died. Yeah, he just needs to get his life together. And you know what? That's a lot on his shoulders for, like, how old is he? 17, 18 years old? That's a lot on his shoulders for a 18-year-old kid. I get it. But yeah, he just needs to figure it out. Figure it out separately, like, away from people for a second. I need him to, like, reflect for a second, get his mind together. He went through a lot. I just want the best for him, seriously. Like, I have no issues with Mark. I'm really rooting for him. Like, I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am. Next character, let's talk about Debbie. Look, I didn't know how I would fit Debbie into this video, if I'm gonna be honest, because for, like, a good, like, chunk of the show in the beginning, she didn't really do much. And so I was like, well, as I was writing my notes when I was watching the show, I was like, how am I gonna fit, because she's obviously like a main character, but I didn't know how I was gonna fit her into this video. And then as the show progressed, when Mark first got his powers, he was like talking a lot out of his ass, disrespectful to his mother, Debbie, because I don't think I clarified. Debbie's his mother. Yeah, so very rude, disrespectful. Debbie was the one who kept him grounded, like, and I applaud her for that. Like, as a mother, she was doing a great job. I think she's one of my favorite characters, probably like in top 3. She's just like a great person, and I feel like no one really deserves her. I feel like she's the real superhero of the show. I just want the best for her as well. I think she's a great mother. I think she's a great person. I think she doesn't deserve anything that Nolan put her through. Okay, so when it comes to Nolan, I was very confused as to why she was defending him until the very end. I don't understand, like, not the very end, but like pretty much up until the middle point in the last episode, where, like, at that point Cecil was like, yeah, he's been lying to everyone, we're gonna have to kill him. And she was like, no, don't kill him. Even though he killed like 7 other superheroes, you do not get to kill him. And I was like, Debbie, girl, you gotta get it together. Your husband is a maniac. He's actually insane. He is a terrorist. Yeah, we're not. Come on, get it together. And then, like, in the next 15 minutes after that, once he's talked all that shit about her, she got it together through her head, and I'm happy for her now, but also really sad for her, because you could tell that she's really going through it. If her crying in her bedroom alone didn't show it at the end of the show, this is my clarification, she's going through it. I want counseling, some type of therapy for her too. Mark and Debbie, they need help, very serious help. Once you put up with a guy like Nolan, I feel like anyone would get some type of therapy session, would need some type of therapy session. Yeah, but overall, I love Debbie. I hope that, you know, she gets better next season. Moving on, let's talk about Nolan, aka Omni-Man. Yeah, fuck him. I don't like this man. So Okay, so at the beginning of the show, I had a feeling I wasn't gonna like him. I don't know why. It's just something about him just didn't sit right with my spirit. The way that he saved the black superhero, I don't remember his name, the guy that was under, like, saving a woman and then, like, got squashed under a car, and then Nolan came and picked up the car and was like, you're welcome. Yeah, something about the way that he did that just seemed very arrogant and snarky, and I just didn't like him from the beginning. And I was right. After everything that I went through in this show, dealing with him as a character, oh, absolutely not. He's a menace to society, a terrible person. You're jealous of your own son. Your son punches you once and it actually stuck. Like, Mark actually packed a punch that actually, like, did something, and that made you mad. You get mad at your son for the way he's behaving, like a normal teenager would, because, you know, he's a teenager, he's a kid. Never went through training whatsoever until you decided once he got his powers that he should. But you're mad at the way he behaves. It's not like you prepared him for this. You didn't start training until he literally got his powers. What did you expect from him? He's a kid. What did you expect him to do? Of course he's going to want to go out on dates. Of course he's going to want to chill with friends. Of course he's not going to know how to do everything the right way because you didn't train him until he got his powers. And then as soon as he got his powers, he started fighting villains. So I don't really know what you want, Nolan. Oh, well, I know you want him to, you know, start committing genocides. That's what you want. Oh, yeah. So he's from a different planet, right? A planet that's like all about conquering different planets and killing the weak people, aka humans. Yeah, that's genocide. That's called genocide. So him calling Debbie a pet. Look, I already knew going into this show that I would hear that line because I saw the tweet circulating around Twitter, because like I said, Twitter was talking about this show for weeks. So I was like, okay, so I was waiting for it. But still, the way he said it, I was on the floor. I've never really heard anyone call their partner or significant other a pet. I like choked on air. There's a special place in hell for that man. Send him down there. How about we reverse the roles? Bring Damien Darkblood. Isn't that the demon's name? Bring Damien Darkblood back up and send him down. Send him somewhere where he can't escape. Because obviously you guys can't kill him, right? I want Nolan gone. I don't know where he went off to. Ooh, he, you know, spared his son's life. Whoopee. I don't care. I want him gone. He's a menace to society in a literal sense. He needs to go somewhere. Send him to actual hell. Bring Damien back because Damien deserves an apology. I'll get to him in a second. But yeah, he needs to go. Telling your son that saving people is beneath him. Specifically people that were raised in poor parts of the area that they live in. I wonder why. I wonder why. Your son tells you that, like, the city need help. The poor parts of the city that no one pays attention to, they need help. And for some reason, you're just like, no, that's not your job. Evil man. He will be dealt with. I hope sometime next season, but also it's too soon. He needs to be gone for a while. I don't want to see him again. His face made me angry. Yeah, I don't want any, like, no. I don't like him. I hate him. He needs to just stay gone for a while. Next, Eve, aka Adam Eve. I love Eve. I think she's really cool. I think she's a great friend to Mark. I think that her powers are they the best? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to go through my head of all the superheroes of this show. I think I like her powers the most. Like, she makes stuff like out of atoms. Like, she made a whole tree house. She makes doors. Like, she just does it. She does it all. And I think that's really cool. I'm glad that she left her family. Her dad, terrible man. Evil. I hate her dad. Her mom isn't any better because she puts up with her dad calling her names. I don't like that. Yeah, her mom isn't as good. So Eve had to walk in on Rex sleeping with Kate and her duplicates. Oh, how sad. I'm actually like, I feel bad for her. I know I don't sound like it. I do feel bad for her. I gasped. I was like, oh, that's not, oh, I felt so bad for her. I'm glad that she ended it right there. I was kind of confused why they were together in the first place though, considering that they didn't seem like they got along anyway. She didn't seem like she liked him anyway. So I didn't really know what they were, but that basically confirmed for me that they were together until they weren't, until Rex did what he did. Yeah, I'm glad that she left. I'm glad that she left the Guardians of the Globe in general. Like, she was like, I don't want any part of this. I'm not dealing with them. And then she went off to go live in the woods. Good for her. I'm happy for her. Leave your parents, leave everyone behind, go find happiness. I feel like that's what she deserves. Make the world a better place without having to fight off villains every day. Yeah, do what you gotta do. Build some trees, go live in the mountains. I don't really care. As long as you're happy, you go do you. Good for her. I like her. She really is one of my favorite characters. I'm rooting for her next season. I don't know what she's gonna do, but I'm rooting for her next season. This is just me like assuming there's gonna be season 2. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I'm assuming there's going to be one, considering this show has been talked about for weeks since it came out. Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be season 2. Next, let's get into my girl Amber. Yeah, this is my girl. I love her. And you know what? Like I said, I saw a tweet, many tweets over the past few weeks saying that people think Amber is the real villain. This was before I started watching the show. People were criticizing Amber, hating on her, saying that she was the real villain of the show, saying that she was just terrible, a terrible person. So I walked into this show thinking that she was probably gonna, like, I don't know, turn into a villain or something, or betray Mark or something. And then I got done with the show and I was like, is that it? I was very confused. I was like, am I supposed to not like her? Because I ended up really liking her throughout the whole show. She didn't do anything that pissed me off. She didn't do anything that warrants the stuff that y'all are saying on Twitter, that's for sure. So let's just break down her character, shall we? She gets with Mark after he basically got his ass kicked by the guy that was harassing her in the school hallway, right? So then they start dating, whatever. She makes the first move, good for her. And then he's like, yeah, I want to go out with you. That's great. And then he just ends up standing her up time after time again for months. This is for months. This is 5 months straight, if I've gotten the time correctly. It was for months, yes. So I'm confused. Are y'all, okay. You guys on Twitter were mad at Amber for this, I'm assuming, for the way that she handled her relationship with Mark. But I don't understand why, considering that she was the one who broke it off with him multiple times and he was the one that kept asking her back every single time just to stand her up again. So I don't understand why Amber's the villain in you guys' story. Why are you changing the narrative? Has been changed, the plot has been changed in your heads? Because from what I've seen in the show, she didn't do anything wrong. She was being a very patient girlfriend, trying to understand him from what he told her, which was basically nothing. Gave no reasoning to why he ditched her constantly, gave no reasoning to why he always had to leave in between dates. It was very strange from her perspective. Of course, we're looking at it from Mark's perspective. Of course, we know that he's a superhero, but she doesn't. So what do you expect her to do? Just stand by as she keeps on getting left astray by her boyfriend. What really did it for me was when he didn't show up on time to have dinner with her mother. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, I'm on her side, because what the hell? What are you guys talking about? I'm confused. She didn't do anything in the show that warrants all of this hate towards her. I don't get it. Y'all need to stop. Overall though, her character, she's really cool. I love her. I think she's sweet. I think she's kind of a badass. The way that she carries herself, I don't know, I just really like her. I like that she helps out the community. Sometimes they're doing community service. I like that she's all about like activism, but like they don't force it, because you know how they do with black characters, sometimes they really force it on them to like be pro-activist and everything. Like she's you could tell that she's like that, but like she does it, it's not like forced into the show all that much, if that makes sense. I thought that was really cool. I think she's a really cool character, and I don't understand the hate. I'm glad that she broke it off with Mark that last time, because of course she knew he was a hero. He doesn't do a good job of hiding it, so she's not gonna get with him because he finally tells her. That's not how that works. Either you tell her or you break up with her. At that point she was like, I'm breaking up with you because it's obvious you don't have time for me. You don't trust me with your secret. Why should I be with you? That point blank period. That's how you do it. That's literally what she did. Multiple times she kept breaking up with him. It wasn't until the last time she did where she was like, yeah, I know you're a superhero. But what would that have changed? He would have still continued to ditch her on dates if they got back together. Sure, his reasoning, like he would have a reason now, but would it be the best reason? No. Yeah, y'all are just really mean and hateful towards black teenage girls. That's it. Amanda Beebe made a good video on Invincible, I think like a week ago, about a week ago-ish, and she spoke on this like more in depth, more thoroughly. I'm not gonna spend any more time on this, but yeah, the way y'all talked about Amber, I don't like it. I don't, because she did nothing, literally nothing. Talking about this teenage girl like this 17-year-old girl. Death threats. I saw death threats on a cartoon character, a black teenage cartoon character. Y'all have lost your minds. I'm sorry. I gotta move on. I'm gonna get irritated and I don't feel like getting mad. So next character. Let's talk about William. Yeah, nothing much to say about William. I like him. I think he's funny. I think he does a good job of clocking Mark when he's in the wrong. Good job on William's part. When he went down in the sewer, I was like, okay, that was a choice. But you know what? He really doesn't care. He's not with the shits. He will go down in the sewer and look for his boyfriend and do what he has to do. And I hope he ends up being happy in the end after what happened to his boyfriend. I don't know if that's like a permanent thing. I don't know if like his boyfriend's like a goner, like, but I just want William to be happy. I hope he ends up being happy. Yeah, I like his character a lot. Nothing much to really say about him though. Next, Cecil. Okay, this man, he was annoying, but that's all he was annoying. We don't know much about him. We know that he works for the government, like he works with superheroes and stuff to make sure that they're on track. They do what he needs them to do at certain times, and he makes sure that the gray area stays gray, that nothing is black and white, right? Because that's why he didn't want to just tell Omni-Man head on that he was a bad guy. He's like, you need to keep things gray, not black and white. Okay, so if that's the case, why did you send the demon back down to hell? He did you guys' job better than any of you. Why'd you send him back down to hell? He did nothing wrong. In my eyes, I think that the demon deserves an apology, because there's no reason why that demon should have been sent back down to hell for something that y'all couldn't do. He figured out that Omni-Man was a bad guy before anyone. I need to keep the gray area gray. Okay, what does that have to do with him? I was like, because I liked the demon character a lot. I was really mad when they sent him back to hell. I was like, okay, whatever. So in the time that they were keeping the gray area gray, all they did was spy on him. All they did was spy on Nolan and his family in that house from across the street for months. They didn't do anything. So I was very confused. I was like, okay, you have no plan of really killing him because there's no way to kill him. All you're doing is spying on him and Mark, who doesn't do anything. He's just Mark. Debbie doesn't know anything until she finally does, until she does. But you're not doing anything, Cecil. You don't do anything. So yeah, he's kind of just like there, and he's there to be annoying. He's not that good of a person in my opinion. He's just really there. We found out at the end of the show that he was working with D.A. Sinclair, one of the villains. I didn't put any of the villains in my character things. I just didn't feel like it. But he's working with the guy who made the who turned William's boyfriend into that giant cyclops looking thing, robot thing. Yeah. I don't understand why he's working with him. Yeah, you're weird. That's a little strange, is it not? Because D.A. Sinclair is very, I don't like him. You're not supposed to, but as one of the villains, he just really wasn't it for me. He made me feel unsettled. I was very uncomfortable every time he came on the screen. I didn't like him, and I hate that that Cecil is working with him. It's making me like his technology is cool, I guess, and I guess it ended up in some way helping them somehow with Nolan, but is it really worth it? You're working with the villain, and it's his technology at the end of the day. You don't think he'll be able to, like, I don't know, program it in a way to help him get him out of your jail, wherever he is? You're not that smart. Cecil it just seems like he does things without thinking. He just does things that he thinks is right that's never truly right. He doesn't listen to anyone else, and I feel like it's gonna bite him in the ass one day. Next, we have Damien Darkblood. Y'all know I love him, the demon detective man. The first one to figure out that Nolan was the one that killed the Guardians of the Globe. Yeah, this is my man. I hope that he comes back. I hope that he gets an apology from everyone who doubted him and who sent him back, because he did his job better than anyone else. Found it out in, like, I think by episode 2 or 3 before anyone else. I want him back. I think he's pretty cool. Bring him back, please. Because he didn't do anything to deserve to go back to hell. Y'all are just mean. Okay, next. Rex. So, aka Rexplode, isn't that his superhero name? Rexplode, that's a lame superhero name. I don't like him. He's also very annoying, but in, like, the most arrogant, douchey way possible. He was with Eve, and he says that he still cares about Eve, but how? Because you don't show it. You could have fooled me in the last, like, I don't know, 7 episodes y'all were broken up. You didn't speak of Eve barely ever. Then you try to get her back with a fireworks show after you cheated on her with 3 Kates. 3 Kates. 3 Kates. You cheated on her with 3 Kates, right? And now begging on your knees to get her back. Absolutely not. Eve deserves better than you. And you know it. You know it. That's why you didn't hovel and grovel after she said that it was over. Because you know that you're not shit. And you know what? At least you're self-aware. I'm confused as to why he's a superhero, though, because it doesn't seem like he's that good of a person. He's an egomaniac. Like, I don't like him. And I don't think his powers are that cool either. He makes, like, explosions out of his hands, I think. Kind of lame. Yeah, just a little lame. Yeah, but we don't know nothing about him other than the fact that he slept with 3 Kates, cheating on Eve, and that he's an asshole. Next, Kate. All we know about her is that she slept with Rex. But she thought they were broken up. So it's not her fault. I don't blame her. I actually really like her. I wish we got to know more about her, but sadly, we don't. So I would like to know more, though. I think that her powers are really cool, and I think that she is a cool person from what we've seen. But again, I don't know her like that. So next, Black Samson. You know, he's okay. Very old school, grown man. Wants to be the boss man of the group, the new Guardians of the Globe, after they made that new team after the old one died. Yeah, he wants to be the boss man. He's very controlling, but also I think they need that because but like none of them really know what's going on other than Robot. Well, now I'll get to Robot in a second. So yeah, none of them are really good at their job, really. So I understand why he wants to be the boss man, but also he's very controlling and angry and just like is not I don't know. I kind of feel indifferent towards him. Like, if he wants to be the boss, if he wants to be the leader, fine, but also there's a better way of doing it than just like yelling all the time, like, and being forceful and very rude. Like, he was rude to everyone. I didn't mind that he was rude to Rex, though. Like, I could not care less about Rex, but everyone else, I was like, why? They don't deserve that. Chill, just a little bit. Next, Monster Girl. So, I'm curious about her. I would like to know more I know that her power, you know, whenever she transforms into the monster, she gets younger and younger. She's actually 24, but she's like in a 12-year-old's body. I would like to know more about her. I feel like she's one of the most complex characters, yet we know nothing really. Other than, like, I guess she likes Rex, but of course she can't be with him because she's technically 24, but she's also 12, so that would be weird. And we also know that her and Robot have like this weird friendship that's not a friendship I don't know, but yeah, that's all we really know about her. I would like to know more just with this whole entire like superhero team. We don't know more about, which is ironic because this is a kind of a show about superheroes. But yeah, I just want to know more. Hopefully we get more next season. On to Robot. Okay, so this guy, so he released the 2 blue bad guys out of jail, right? So that's when I knew everything was gonna go downhill, because why would you release them? Granted, I like the blue guys. I didn't put them in here because I didn't really know what to say about them, but I think they're cool. I think they're really smart. I hope I hope we see them next season. We probably are going to, but just in case, I really like them. But when he released them, I was like, huh, okay, that's weird. At first I thought he was gonna like use them as an experiment for the superheroes to see like what they were capable of. Maybe they could take them down if they got into the city of all. But then he never did that. He just let them escape prison and hide away, making clones and stuff. But then as the show went on, he took Rex's blood without Rex's permission, and I was like, oh, that's weird, that's sus. No, he needed that blood to make a clone of Rex as his own body. He's weird. I want him away from Monster Girl. I want him away. I need Monster Girl to get away from him. I don't like that. So he used Rex's body, Rex's 12-year-old body, to get with Monster Girl. And for some reason, we're just supposed to be like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. Do we not? Is no one else confused? Have we lost the plot? I feel like the plot has been lost because what's going on? I don't get it. I think that's strange. I think it's very weird. I want Monster Girl to stay away from the Robot Man because I feel like one thing goes wrong, one little thing that sparks him in his anger, and he'll just like blow. I'm scared for her. I want her to get away from him. I don't trust him. I don't even think I like him. He cares about Monster Girl too much, and it's obvious that she's creeped out by the fact that he went and used Rex's DNA sample without his permission just to get into a 12-year-old's body version of Rex just to be with her when she's actually 24 mentally. That's strange. That's weird. Absolutely not. Next, last character. This is the only villain I put in here because that's the only one I care about. Titan. I think he's so cool. I think he's interesting. I would like to know more than we already do, because of course we know that he works for criminals. Well, he worked for criminals. He worked for the machine head guy. Yeah, because he owed him and everyone else money. But then he took down the machine head man, and then we found out he actually owns the business. But now he wants to make the city that he lives in, you know, the poor parts of the city that he asked Mark to save. He wants to make that place better. So he's going to use his business to do that. I hope we see that more next season, maybe, like as an overarching little plot, because his powers are actually really cool, and I like to see how he uses them, possibly for good, if he uses them at all, because now since I guess like he's in a better place financially, mentally, like with his family, he doesn't need to use his powers anymore. But I don't know, I would like to see him come back. And by the end of the show, you see like a lot of these villains and all these people that were in it throughout, like you see them working on something to possibly get brought back into the show next season. So I'm hooked. I want to know what he's gonna do. I'm curious. I really liked Titan, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, he's the only villain I put in here, only because I don't think he's a villain. I think he's really interesting. That was all the characters I'm going to be talking about. Now I'm going to talk about things that I did not like. I was trying to make a list of the stuff I disliked about this show before I sat down and made the video. Nothing I dislike other than the fact that like y'all talk about Amber in a way that's very disrespectful, very racist, bigoted, misogynistic. I don't like that. So it's not really the show's problem, the show's fault. It's just the fans. I don't like y'all saying that Amber's worse than Omni-Man. Please, please, please get out of my face. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like the fans. The fans, y'all, not all of them obviously, like some of y'all are cool. The others, yeah, y'all can kiss my ass. Tread lightly when it comes to Amber, because that's my girl. You're not going to talk any sort of way about her. Not on my watch. No. Things I did like about the show. So I liked that, like, it had the kind of deeper meaning behind it that not all superheroes are good guys. I really like that, which is why I watch shows like The Boys. It's also an Amazon Prime show. Yeah, I like The Boys a lot, and the show kind of reminded me of that. Like, I don't know, I like that not all superheroes have to like be good. Some of them could be bad people, like arrogant assholes, manipulative, like terrible people. I just think that's a cool concept for a show, and I hope that they keep on doing that. Hopefully they introduce more superheroes. I don't know, maybe they could. And I also like the balance between the comedy aspects of the show and like the serious ones, because this show's actually really funny. Like, it made me laugh multiple times, but then like when it got serious, like those fight scenes in the last episode, yeah, no chuckles were made. The last episode was very serious, but throughout the rest of the show, I mean, it was a mix of a balance of seriousness and like the jokes were very funny. Good job. Also, the cast is excellent. I knew that going into the show because I knew before the show came out, people were talking about this cast. Yeah, very excellent cast. The cast is very, like, every time a new scene popped up of a new character, it was a voice I recognized. And I was like, wait a second, like, why is Seth Rogen playing a villain? I was like, what? And then like I forgot Sandra Oh plays Debbie, and like it was just a really good cast. I was like, oh my goodness, this is kind of crazy. So yeah, cast is phenomenal. I'm expecting that the show gets an Emmy. If not the show as a whole, then hopefully like the cast members, because they acted down. Yeah, that's my video, I guess. This show is actually bananas. Like, I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't already. It's 8 episodes. Each of them are like 40 minutes. I watched it by watching 2 episodes a day throughout the week. I know people binged it. I just wanted to like keep myself, because like every episode it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, so I was like, I need to separate this, because if I don't, I will literally watch it in a day, and I wanted to keep myself anticipated. But it's really short, so like if you want to watch it, go ahead. I swear it's really, really good. And yeah, that's about it. If you enjoyed this, thanks. If you like to talk with me about Invincible or other things, you can follow me on Twitter. I interact most on Twitter, but if you want to follow me on all of my other social medias, they will be linked down below. Bye, everyone.